But the strangest part about this story is that there is essentially no record of Jason Jr.'s existence. Not sure how that's possible. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here and you're interested in this type of content, please, 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 please subscribe to my channel and like this video. Just like the last story, this one is definitely worthy of a drink. So I have my glass of Blackstone Merlot here for me, and you should go get you some too because you're gonna need it. So today's case, it has to be by far one of the strangest cases I've researched so far. This is about the disappearance of 15-year-old Jason Sims Jr. from Fairfield, Alabama. Jason was one of 4 children to Natasha Wright and James Sims Sr. But the strangest part about this story is that there is essentially no record of Jason Jr.'s existence. Not sure how that's possible. But anyways, in October 2013, authorities were looking into the welfare of Wright and Sims' children, which they thought were only 2 kids, ages 10 and 12. However, there were actually 2 more children that no one knew about. I mean, how does that even happen? Can someone explain to me how you could have children and nobody knows that they exist? I mean, I have kids and there's no possible way that I could have children and no one knows that they exist, including the children. It just doesn't make sense. Child Protective Services had no clue that Jason Jr., who was 15 at the time, and a 9-year-old even existed. Neither the 9-year-old or Jason Jr. were ever enrolled in school, and authorities had no medical records for either of them. So that means no doctor's visits, no annual checkups, no vaccinations, nothing. The only proof of Jason Jr.'s existence is a birth certificate and a few photos. Now, once authorities realized this, and based on the condition of the home that they were already investigating because CPS was involved, obviously that means that they had some prior issues. Authorities decided to issue arrest warrants for Natasha Wright and Jason Sims Sr., charging them with child neglect. In October 2014, police attempted to serve the parents at the family home, which was located at the 1000 block of 59th Street in Fairfield, Alabama. But the parents, along with the children that they had, were nowhere to be found. Neighbors say that Jason Sr. was not the most pleasant person. He was very unapproachable. All they saw was him coming and going. He did not really interact with the children, nor did he interact with the neighbors. So guys, apparently the family went on the run. The home was left untouched, nothing packed up, no boxes, nothing to indicate they were moving out or were planning to move out. Now, what's crazy is that 4 months later, in January 2015, the mother, Natasha Wright, was found inside the same home unconscious from some sort of medical emergency. So 3 days after authorities find the mom, 3 of the children were found at relatives in Mulga, Alabama, where I think I'm saying that right, which is a neighboring city about 10 miles northwest of Fairfield, Alabama. So they do have family. Shortly after being found, Natasha regained consciousness and immediately started asking about her teenage son that authorities didn't even know existed. Natasha could not say when she last saw him. All she knew was that he was in their home the last time she saw him, but she couldn't recall when that was. Later on in 2015, Natasha filed a restraining order or some sort of protection from abuse order against her husband, Jason Sr. Not really sure why she did it. Maybe she felt like she was being threatened. There are no real accounts that outline the reason behind her filing the restraining order. Perhaps it was a plan by her and her attorneys so that she could avoid jail time, or maybe she was really in fear of him. At any rate, in April of 2016, Jason Sr. was charged with felony failure to report a child missing. During Jason Sr.'s trial, his attorney said that Jason only saw Jason Jr. one time when Alabama Social Services requested to see all of Natasha's children. Again, there are just so many questions. None of this makes any sense. Somebody's lying, clearly. His attorney also indicated that he had some doubt that the child even existed. But I still go back to, there's a birth certificate. There are pictures of a child. Children just don't appear out of thin air, and they just don't disappear out of thin air. In November 2019, Jason Sr. ultimately pled guilty to a misdemeanor of the charge of neglect for failing to report a child missing, and received a 12-month suspended sentence, along with 12 months of supervised probation, followed by 12 months of supervised probation. He was also ordered to stay away from the family. Strangely, Jason Sr. said he pled guilty as a way to get on with his life. He complained of having difficulty finding a job because the situation loomed over his head. He said, and I quote, "At some point, you just have to move on." Who moves on from losing, essentially, or misplacing, or a child going missing? I don't know of anyone who could possibly just move on. To me, he's just super nonchalant about the whole thing. I mean, there is a child that is supposedly missing and was supposedly under his care along with Natasha's care. And the child has his name. Even though he may not be the biological father, it just comes across as super uncaring that this child that you had known existed for at least 15 years, it has disappeared, and you are worried about just moving along with your life. It just makes me question if he knows more than what he's saying. I don't know I just don't know. The most hurtful and cruel thing is that Sims Sr. even went so far as to say that he's, quote unquote, not mine. I've always known that. And he said that he only saw the child once, that he's not even on the birth certificate. So I guess that means that because he's not his biologically and he wasn't on the birth certificate, he has no care or concern about trying to figure out where this child is and what happened to him for the last 15 years. He has pretty much literally tried to totally remove himself from the situation. He's adamant that he has no idea what happened to Jason Jr. and he has no idea where he is. To this day, February 2020, no one has seen or heard from Jason Jr. According to his parents or his mom, Natasha, he is autistic and nonverbal. So, of course, being autistic and nonverbal creates a whole nother layer to this story, because if he ran away, if someone took him or abducted him and he's out roaming or, under someone's care who intends to do him harm, he's nonverbal. He has physical and medical challenges that would prevent him from being able to even tell anyone if he's still alive. Um, at the time of Jason Jr.'s disappearance, he was just 15 years old and approximately 125 pounds. I mean, guys, I don't really know where to start with this story. Like, my mind just can't really wrap around the crazy of it all. So, like, what do you guys think happened here? I mean, this, like, what do the other children know? There's three other kids that lived in this house. I wonder if police have asked them or questioned them about their older brother or younger brother. I don't even, I'm sorry, their older brother. Like, I wonder if they asked, like, hey, do you remember seeing Jason Jr. around? When's the last time you saw Jason Jr.? Do you remember what he was wearing? I don't know. And then what about the family in Mulga, Alabama, who had the three children when the mom and the dad were on the run from law enforcement? Had they seen Jason Jr. ever in their life, like, or his little short life? I just don't understand this case, how there's so many people that are involved that are like, I don't know. Just, don't know. When they should be able to shed some light on something, like whether, the mom's mental state. Maybe she's mentally, deranged. Maybe something bad happened to Jason Jr. when he was a child or at birth, and she doesn't want to come to grips with it. That's a possibility. But I would think that the family in Mulga, as well as Jason Sr., would know. Even if this is some imaginative thing going on with her, that, oh, this child is still present here with us, I would think that they would be able to shed some light and say, look, no, she's having issues or whatever is going on. But I would also think that somewhere in the, some authorities would have some knowledge of that, even if, say, something happened to Jason Jr. during the time of his birth and he passed away or something like that. There has to be a record somewhere. Everybody's walking around like they didn't know this child existed. And I just can't believe that could be possible in the United States. So, like, what's the explanation for the child not attending school? I wonder what explanations are these people giving, or have they given, for the fact that a 15-year-old, which should have been by then in high school, 9th grade, 8th grade, had never, ever, 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 ever attended school, meaning the school system where they were had no record of this child attending school. What does the parents have to say for that? I mean, guys, there are just so many questions in this case. I can go on and on. What do you all think happened? I mean, leave your comments down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. It's just a super, super bizarre case. I just don't understand it. I don't understand how people are allowed to just say that they had no recollection. I don't understand how the quote unquote dad is able to just say, he's not on the birth certificate, he's not mine. But my wife is insinuated or insisted that he's existed for 15 years. And we just kind of let that go on. Even if something happened to Jason Jr. at the time of his birth and she wasn't able to come to grips with it or cope with it, why wouldn't he get help for her? Why wouldn't he reach out to someone and say, listen, she's having delusional thoughts about this situation? It's just too many questions. Guys, today, Jason would be 19 years old. His birthday is April 24th, 1999. And this is what investigators think he would look like today. If you have seen him, or you know of anyone that has seen him, I just urge you and beg that you please call the Fairfield Police Department in Alabama. Their contact information will be in the description box below. Again, leave your feedback or your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think happened to poor little Jason. Let me know what you think, like what's your theory about this story. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this type of comment, please subscribe to my channel and like this video. That is the only way that I know that you guys are interested in this type of content, and I will keep going. My goal is to reach 100 subscribers. I know that seems small, but it's not small to me. I really appreciate your support. Thank you guys so much. Bye. Till the next time.